member for Timmins, James Bay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very honored, as always, to rise in this House, and particularly on such a profound, important issue. I'm going to ask the Speaker's indulgence for a few minutes to speak on an issue that is coming right now. I've learned that in Treaty 9 tonight, families in the Scandiga First Nation are being evacuated out because they have no access to water. For an OG community in the middle of a pandemic to be willing to be flown out to an urban centre because of the fears of a pandemic, and yet they're willing to be flown out, shows how severe the situation in the Scandiga is. And I think my honourable colleagues of every member and every party will understand the importance of us bringing this forward. Because one of the beautiful things we've said in the pandemic in Canada is we're all in this together. But we aren't. Not in Canada. We've never all been together. Not when it comes to the poverty, the casual degradation that Indigenous people suffer, and the systemic negligence of the most basic rights to life and dignity. The Canadians just take for granted as part of how this country's run. And you can't look, Mr. Speaker, for a community that has suffered more than the Scandiga. 25+ years they've gone with unsafe water. 25 years. That's a second generation growing up with improper water. What does that mean? Well, I remember meeting a beautiful young girl from Treaty 9, and she had this incredible long hair, beautiful thick hair, and she said she didn't like to take a shower because it gave her blisters. That's what we put young people in communities like Nescandiga through. And at age 13 or 14, they have to leave home because the federal government won't bother to give them a school. So they have to go to a foreign culture, Thunder Bay. And we know the horrific treatment and the abuse that Indigenous children have suffered in Thunder Bay, and the deaths of children in the rivers, the racist attacks, yet they have to leave their homes. And I'll tell you, we're talking about something as profound as medical assistance in dying, but when you've had to go to a hotel room in Thunder Bay to say you're sorry because a beautiful young girl from Nescandiga gave up hope at age 14, you could say, yeah, this nation does a lot of work to assist in the dying and the hopelessness. So tonight in Nescandiga, after 25 years of not having water, where the schools can't be open because they can't get water into the schools, they've had to shut the water system down. Elders, it's winter there, elders are going down to the river and getting water out of buckets. Yeah, this is Canada in 2020. So when we hear us say, we're all in this together, we could say it more clearly by saying, yeah, we're all in this together, except when it comes to Indigenous people, because they're at the back of the line again and again and again. And I'm not saying this from a partisan point of view, but this was the primary program. The Scandiga was going to be fixed. We were told that by this Prime Minister. The previous Prime Minister put enormous amounts of money into water, yet they continue to refuse to put in place the basic infrastructure that will support safe communities, the sewage lifts, the water pipes, the proper water treatment centres. So I'm asking my colleagues tonight, in light of the crisis in Nescandiga and the risks people are taking by being flown out in the middle of a pandemic, to say that we have to make the guarantee of access to clean water a fundamental human right. It has to be done. It has to be done now. We can't have any more nice words. We have all the beautiful words that come from this government, and yet we have people who can't even live in their own community because they don't have water. I'm asking my colleagues to work with us to guarantee that the people in Nescandiga will be able to go home to safety and decency and water.